It's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. It's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And it's 7 p.m. in New York City. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog DeCipio, and this is What's the Buzz? America's Best Popcast. Tonight, living off the grid. And to walk us through the muck and mire, she's back. She's back. Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman. How are you, Amelia?
Doing good, good.
That's it. Just good.
Good. Well, I'm just excited. We got our
That
car.
rousing intro I gave you, and that's what I get. Good.
I'm just happy to get our car fixed, and I'm just hoping it doesn't rain anymore. I'm gonna hear the thunder.
Oh
and
my
lightning.
God. Amelia lives in Florida, folks. Needless to say,
Mm-hmm.
she's surrounded by water.
Yes.
Around her and on top of her and underneath her, she got water everywhere right now.
Yes. But not in my room with the water heater.
You got but you're in the middle of hurricane season, right? And
Yeah.
Georgia just above you and the Carolinas got hammered.
They sure did very bad.
Man, they got hammered. You guys thought you were going to take the brunt of it.
We did. Yeah, we
You
thought
got lucky, but what happened was it's weird how Mother Nature is.
Yeah.
Because you guys were like, the storm was right there in front of you,
it was right
but
here.
it turned.
Mhm.
It turned and it went above Florida. Like
It
when
went
it
this
hit
way
land.
and that way.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. Shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Crazy. I hope everybody in Carolina and Georgia is okay. You know, I saw something today. My heart just went like, oh man.
Did you see all the pictures?
It was it was the flood waters, but it was a casket.
Yes. Did you see that? Yes.
I saw that it was a casket. I thought, oh dear God, this. Well, first of all, thank God that the person inside it doesn't know what's going on because they're dead.
Yeah.
But can you imagine be the loved one of that individual?
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, it's easy to find out who's in it because
Yes.
that's like, see, now we're getting into like icky territory.
I know, but it's
Ugh.
getting closer to Halloween, so kind of scary.
Yeah, I know you're into that goofy shit anyway.
I like
She's
Halloween.
Amelia's kind of like a masochist, folks. I have to. She's a nice person, but she's got this dark side.
Hey, I like Halloween.
This guy's got big balls on him going head to head with Donald Trump. You bet your ass, brother.
That's right.
Mike Pucci. Hey, Pooch. I know who Pooch is. Hey, it's nice to have Pooch has been here before. Pooch has been here before. What's happening, Pooch? Let me ask you a question, Pooch. Since we're on the Donald Trump thing, let's talk about that for a second. What's your take on Mr. Trump? Are you like a supporter, or are you one of these guys that's not real fond of him, or where do you stand politically? Is where I guess what I'm getting at. Because I love finding out, like how.
Stuff like that on people, yeah.
Well, I like to find out where their head is politically.
Oh, he's. Well, I want to say thank you to him for checking up on us here in the States of Florida to make sure everybody's okay. If we need anything, how we're doing. I want to
Good.
say
He's a Trumper. Yes. Yes. Pooch, join me, Pooch. Election night. We will be here all night long covering the election live
yes, we will.
as it happens. It might be an all-nighter, so pop some popcorn and put a pot of coffee on.
Right. We sure will.
Absolutely. Yeah, we will have our coffee going for sure.
Yes.
So, Neil.
Uh-huh.
Let's see what Pooch says. Smart people. Absolutely, brother.
Yes.
Let's talk. What we got tonight?
Going off the grid.
Before we even do that.
That's what I've been doing lately. Pretty much.
Yeah, before we even do that, I want to tell you it's been a bad week to be a celebrity.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it.
The last week, I'm going to say the last
Couple?
I'm going to say like the last 8 days is really when it started. Except for one that they snuck in on us tonight. Chris Christopherson, of course, singer songwriter.
Legend, yes.
I got the chance to see him perform live,
Oh wow.
and it was an amazing show. In fact, you remember the song called Black Velvet?
Yes.
Alana Miles, the young lady who recorded that song,
Yes.
was his opening act that night.
Oh wow. She's
Yeah.
amazing. I like her.
Yeah, but people don't. Do you know what the song Black Velvet is about?
Elvis Presley and the show of
It's
his
about
concert.
Elvis.
Yes, I remember. And the song that he wrote, that black velvet outfit on stage, and the center's red.
Black Velvet was about Elvis, believe it
You
or
didn't think I
not.
knew that, did you?
Well, you better know your husband worked for fucking Graceland, for crying out loud.
Well, what I liked about Chris Christopherson, he was an outlaw himself. Outlaw
Absolutely,
music.
he was right up there with Lacey J for sure.
Yes.
And I'm, you know what? I'm sure they were friends at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
John Amos. It's funny, you know what? Because we're doing a show tomorrow night,
Mhm.
just to show you how things work out, folks.
Yeah.
We're doing a show tomorrow night called "What Happened to Good Television," and we're going to salute some of the great sitcoms of the 70s and 80s, like All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Good Times. And I used John Amos's picture
Yeah.
for Good Times, right?
Yes.
He passed away.
I did not
We
know that.
found out today, but he passed August 21st.
Can you believe that? We just
What?
barely finding out.
But why are we just finding out now? I want to look into that. You know what? You're the producer. You look into that.
I think it's probably the
I'm gonna-
family wanted some closure first. They wanted some
I
privacy.
think the family wanted to fight because
yeah.
they're fighting over what little money that the poor guy has left,
Yeah.
you know? And his son and daughter basically sucked him dry.
Yeah.
What little money he did have. John
Mhm.
Amos was 84.
Mhm.
John Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop
Yeah.
and a bunch of other movies. John Ashton was an amazing character actor, dead at the age of 76. Maggie Smith from Harry Potter. She did all the Harry Potter
Yes.
films. She did one of my favorite movies called California Suite,
Mhm.
which she played an uppity movie star in that one. She was amazing in that.
Yes.
She was 90 years old. God bless her.
Wow.
Baseball legend hit close to home in my area, Philadelphia. 2 people died in the world of sports. Pete Rose,
Yes.
who played for the Philadelphia Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds, and basketball player Dikembe Mutombo. He died at the age of 58.
Wow, that's young.
Pete Rose was 83. That was a shocker because he just did a television special.
Wow.
He just like this year. Just this year.
Hmm.
A few months ago. He just did a TV special for HBO.
Wow.
And he's gone already now. Who else? Oh, CBS News Sunday morning host Charles Osgood, dead at the age of 91. Here's a shocker. The son of actor Steve McQueen, Chad McQueen, passed away at 63.
Wow.
Interesting thing is his father died young too. He died young just like his father.
Wow.
Catherine Crosby passed away. She was the wife of Bing Crosby. She was 90 years old.
Hmm.
And she was a lot younger than Bing, of course, at the time, because Bing was in his 80s when he died.
Mhm.
And, of course, the last but not least, one of Amelia's favorite people, his name was Drake Huddlestein. He was a soap opera actor. What was he on? What show was he on?
Days of Our Lives. He played John
Days
Black.
of Our Lives. He played what? A doctor?
No, John Black. He was kind of
he
like a
played John Black.
detective. Yeah, and he was one day shy of his 71st birthday, and
And
he filmed one of his last episodes of Days of Our Lives, and then he
Yeah. And he passed away at the age of 70.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that some stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a shocker.
Yeah, it is.
It's been a kind of a weird week.
You're telling me
It's really
it's been a weird
strange.
month.
Yeah. It's been a strange week for like celebrities. It really, really has. Um,
I, I just don't know what they're doing over there with that machine over there because I mean we've had tsunamis, tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes.
yeah.
Uh, let's see, what
You're
else
talking
have
about
we?
that machine in Alaska, the harp?
Yeah, and it also too, it's like thunderstorms, all these typhoons, all these cyclones. Might as well bring Godzilla and bring Godzilla
No,
out.
you can't blame Godzilla on this one,
No,
kid.
might as well bring Godzilla out with the and say, "Hello, I'm here." Might as well
Oh yeah,
invite
but bring Godzilla and Mothra.
and King Kong and say,
Yeah,
"Hello."
absolutely.
Bring them all to life because
Oh yeah,
all that
Godzilla versus Kong. That was a good one too.
might as well bring them here to life because everything else is happening in this world. I mean, comets are coming.
Hey,
We're getting
don't
two
push
moons.
it. Hold on, Amelia. I got some Prozac for you. Hold on. Let me.
I mean, think about all the stuff, the weird stuff that's been going on lately. This is
I didn't do it.
ridiculous.
I didn't do it.
And then people are choosing to live going off the grid, and this is what our show's about today.
Like I had this conversation with my wife. She said something. I went, "Don't look at me. I didn't do it.
And
My
it's
hands are clean on this one."
and I've been kind of living off the grid a little bit. As you know, my water heater went out, so I'm having to
Oh
get
yeah, you've really
water.
been roughing it. Yeah, I'm
I'm having to
sure.
get water and heat it up to take shower.
I want to tell you who's living off the grid is Leon and Rosie. I'm totally against Harris, but not totally pro Trump. You
Oh,
know what? You know what, Leon? I believe it or not, we understand that. We absolutely understand that.
my mom said the same thing. To
Yeah,
be honest with you,
it's going to be. See, this is going to be a strange year to vote. We're going to talk about this tonight too,
it's a
but we're
strange
going to
year.
talk about this and that, believe it or not, our subject tonight, living off the grid,
Mhm.
has a lot to do
It's a strange
with.
year.
Am I kidding or what? I'm serious.
It is. It's
It
weird.
has a lot to do with our political climate.
It has, yes.
It really. People think that I'm nuts when I tell them this shit.
No, I mean, because
I'm really not. I'm not kidding.
but tell people who chose the shows for this week, so that way you're not
Yeah,
being.
blame her. It's her fault.
I did. I'm
Who
the one
did
that
it?
chose the shows this week, so because he was
But
like,
no,
"You can't miss
actually,
it."
I'm going to give you. I'm going to compliment you
Thank you.
because my wife thinks I pick on you on the time. I don't, and please just tell the world that I don't pick on you. I really
He
don't.
doesn't pick on me for real.
Thank you. I really don't.
No.
You know. But it's just the two of us here, and I got to give somebody some shit.
If he does it for fun, and I get to pick on him back.
It's
So
all. Thank you. It's all in. It's all in fun. Okay,
yeah, and
now
he lets me pick on him back. So that way or that way.
listen, young lady. All right,
Three-way.
now, um, I want to get serious for a half a second, and it's rare, but I'm going to get serious for a minute. Tonight's show really does tie into the political climate
Yes.
because a lot of people have decided that this is not a country they want to go to work in, that they want to live in anymore.
That's true.
But but they can't totally leave. I
No.
know people that are making $250,000 a year that are quitting their jobs.
Yes.
I know a guy that was a corporate executive that quit his job to live in the woods in a camper. And I'm not making any of this up. None of it. You can look around you. You can. There were. All right, Amelia, am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Last summer, hear me out. Last summer, there was a guy at church that was living in the woods.
Yeah.
A guy from my church.
Yeah.
He lived in the woods. He lived in his tent. He got showered wherever he got showered or cleaned up, however he got cleaned up.
Right?
Nobody asked. you know, he always had money though, because we found out what he was doing. he was selling his blood to the blood bank.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Once a week, they'll take you.
Oh, and plasma as well. Something like
Yeah. He was going to the blood bank and the plasma bank,
that. Mm.
selling plasma and blood for like, I think they like 50, $60 or
Yeah,
whatever.
they
I
pay
mean,
you pretty
they
good for
give you
that.
some money. I mean, they
Hmm.
do give you some money,
They do, yes.
especially for plasma. They give you sometimes a couple of $100,
Mhm, they do, yes, because it's
you know?
needed.
But that's what he was doing. He was living off the grid in the
Mhm.
woods.
Yes.
I know because I dropped him off stuff a couple of
Mhm.
times. You know, now,
Yeah.
granted, wasn't much, but like like
What you
just
could
something to
do,
have.
bread and ham or whatever, bread or peanut butter, whatever you can
Some
give you.
fruit. You could
Yeah.
have. Plus, fruit will last you a couple days if you don't eat it all one shot.
Yeah.
Apples and oranges and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, that's the good thing about fruit. You can keep it for a few days.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people are choosing to live off the grid because
Yes,
they're
they are.
tired of the political climate, the social climate. They're tired of, here's the biggest thing, and you're going to laugh when I tell you, but you'll understand it completely. They want to live off the grid away from the social media influencers.
Absolutely.
You understand that, right?
Yes.
Because here's the thing, too. You can't say anything, do anything, go anywhere without somebody on social media thinking they have a right to tell you what to do, what to say, how to think. That's what they want, okay?
Yes.
That's what they want. That's what the government wants, okay?
Absolutely. You're 100% right. Thank you
Um,
for saying that.
to
Yes.
the
Thank you.
point, I'm to the point where I no longer use, and I'll just say this outright because I want people to listen.
Yes.
I no longer use Google.
Hmm.
I no longer use Google. I use DuckDuckGo because Google is spying on you.
Yeah, you said
And
that
I
they
know
track
they're
you,
spying
right?
on me, and I know it.
Mhm.
But here's the thing, though. I really care? No, not
No.
really. But as a matter of principle, I don't use them anymore.
No.
Okay. The other thing is, as a matter of principle, I used Facebook as little as I have to. I used Facebook absolutely twice today. Early this morning and about 20 minutes ago, right before we went on the air to send Amelia a picture
Yeah.
of an American flag. Thank you.
No.
In fact, I sent you 4 American flags.
For our election show that we're going to be doing in November.
Yeah. For the election show.
Hmm.
And so understand that while it's not my cup of tea to live off the grid, I will tell you that I have lived off the grid. Is it my favorite thing to do? To be honest with you, in some ways, um, it's very liberating in some regard.
Hmm.
The problem, though, comes when you need to go to the bathroom or you need to take a shower
Hmm.
and you have to wait for it to rain to take a shower. And you're standing in the middle of nowhere, buck naked, with a little bottle of liquid soap because you know you can get it on and off real quick.
Right? Just like real quick.
And I've done that.
Uh-huh.
I will just tell you. I will absolutely confess to you. I've done that. I've stood underneath a drain spout at one point in my life. I'm not even kidding. I
Mhm.
look back on it now, and I will tell you. Can I be honest with you guys?
Yes.
It was one of the best times of my life. It really was one of the best times in my life. I'm going to tell you why. Because it was freeing.
Yes.
I didn't have to answer to nobody. I was, for the first time ever, really ever,
Hmm.
I was completely and utterly on my own
Right.
with no girlfriend, no wife, I did have a daughter at the time. She's still around, busting my chops every once in a while. Um, but usually, most of the time, she don't have anything to do with me. Um, but so like like really, who was I there with? Nobody, right?
Right.
But one of the great things about that was I could be me for the first time.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't have to like be the mad dog or be
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. I was just Angelo,
You. Yeah.
you know. And in some regards, it was very. And in fact, it was in Tennessee. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, in Tennessee, of all places. How about you, Amelia? You ever been like off the grid?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was like younger, we went to Corpus Christi, and we didn't have when we didn't have cell phones or anything like that back then. We stayed in my uncle's camper. We went on a fishing trip, and that was like the best time of my life. Got to see the
And you
ocean right
had
up the
nothing,
side.
right?
Nothing.
Then that's what I'm saying to you.
Got to
You
see the
had nothing. You
ocean.
just said the same thing.
Yeah,
Was one of the best times of your life, and you had nothing.
yeah. I got to see the
Off the
ocean for
grid.
the first time in my life, and I was like, "This is just so amazing having the water and the sand on my toes, and spending time with my uncle and my dad's father, my grandfather, because we hardly ever got to do that with as kids,
Yeah.
and just
I
him in the
have to
water
tell
with us
you
was fun.
that there's something remarkable about that. There really
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Um, it's funny talking about living off the grid.
yeah.
When I turned 65, I made a list. I call it the 5 on 65 list.
Mm-hmm.
One of those things on my list: overnight camping trip, picnic with my family in the park, overnight ghost hunt.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Okay. Renew my wedding vows to my wife, my lovely wife, who I adore my wife. You don't even know how much I love my wife. Um, and the other thing is get a tattoo.
Mm.
I don't have any tattoos,
I don't either.
but I'm gonna get one by God.
You are. What is it gonna be? Do you know?
I don't know. Um, I might get a tattoo that says "Don't fuck with Papa Bear." I don't know. I keep teasing that. I keep teasing about that. You know, I think I might actually do that. Don't fuck with Papa Bear. Um, on my arm or my chest. I don't know, somewhere off or on
I
my
don't have
back.
a tattoo either, but I've been thinking about maybe getting one. I don't know.
Well, my wife has two of them.
Hmm.
She's
You know?
got her over on the up here. It says Shelby on it, my
Uh-huh.
daughter's name,
Uh-huh.
and then she's got one of those, what do they call them? On her back it says Crazy Diamond.
Hmm.
But and it's a beautiful tattoo. She's had it a long time.
Hmm.
Um,
My daughter's 29 years old and she's got 13 of them.
cause your daughter's a lunatic. That's
And
why.
my sister's I think almost 50. I don't know how old she is. But she's almost 50. She's got like 13 or 14 of them. My sister does.
And you're the only one that doesn't have any.
Exactly.
Ain't that some shit?
I know, right?
You're either the smart one of the family or you ain't got the ball.
I just never thought of getting one, to be honest with you.
Well, you don't know till you do it.
Right?
Anyway, living off the grid. Let me tell you why
Hmm.
people live off the grid. It's not, definitive, but some ideas as to like why people might live off the grid. All right. Um, what do you think the biggest reason is, Mel?
Living independently away from, like you said, to either get in touch with the earth or be just to be around
That's,
uh, you
believe
know,
it or not, yeah, you're closer than you think. Yeah,
mhm,
for sure.
being surrounded by just the earth itself, to be surrounded by nature, to be
Yeah.
just like that. That's what they want to be, is either to be in touch with nature or just to learn to be around nature. I'm not an outdoorsy person, but if I go outside, I'll be outside for a little bit if it's nice outside.
Right.
Mhm.
Here's what I checked it out a little bit. I did some research. Here's what
Mhm.
people say are the top reasons why they choose to live off the grid.
Mhm.
So follow me on some of these. I agree with some. I question. People choose to live off the grid for a variety of reasons, including, like you just said, environmental impact.
Yes.
Living off the grid can reduce your carbon footprint, your overall, environmental
Yeah.
impact. The
Mhm.
independence of it, like I said before,
Yes.
total independence, um, empowering yourself to
Yes.
do things that you may not think you're even possibly capable of doing.
Yes.
But when you realize, oh shit, hey, I could do this,
Right.
you get this sense of empowerment. You really do. One of the biggest reasons people go off the grid, what do you think it is? It's the number one reason.
To disappear.
Believe it or not, that's number two.
Really? I thought
Number
that was like number
one, the
one.
number one reason, you ready for this?
Mhm.
To get back in touch with nature.
That's exactly what I said,
I
wasn't it?
can't make that. The second one
Mhm.
is to disappear, to not be seen,
Yeah.
you know, or what people call to become invisible is what it
Yeah.
says. To become, like a face in the crowd.
Mhm.
You do that in Tennessee, you're a face in the crowd everywhere.
And
Because
you know that's the number one place that you can get off the grid is the Tennessee. That's the number one state.
Tennessee, Oklahoma, Kentucky,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep. I'll tell you where's another place to disappear to.
Mhm.
And you may not think this, but it's absolutely true because I did it. Las Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
Nevada.
That I can imagine because there's so many people there.
Oh my God, you don't even know. But here's the thing, it's not just there's a lot of people. Las Vegas is a small place.
Yeah.
It's in the desert.
Yes.
It's literally an oasis in the desert. But that's a big ass desert, brother.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? I mean, sister.
Well, just like that movie, Chevy Chase Vegas Vacation, where he goes
It's
to visit and he's way
yeah.
in the middle of nowhere in that trailer.
And that guess what? It's not far off the mark either. Living off the grid can also give you more control. This is another thing that people
Yes.
say. Give you more control over your life and how you live
Yes.
it. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
Um, it can help you understand uh, different routes in life,
Oh,
different
yeah.
outlets in life.
Mhm.
We always think that there's only one or two ways to do anything.
Mhm.
When you live off the grid, you are amazed at yourself that you can come up with 5 or 6 different ways to do any
Oh,
number of things.
oh, of course, yes.
You know,
It can help your
um,
mind, body, and soul.
yeah, living off the grid can help you understand how different systems work,
Mhm.
such as how water gets
Mhm.
from your tap to the power, to the outlets, to how power gets to your house and all this stuff,
Mhm.
because you're responsible now for providing all that for yourself
Yes.
off the grid. Sometimes you don't have power.
Right.
Sometimes you're lucky to be near water. Well, guess what water is? It's power.
Yes. I do understand that, especially hot
I
water.
saw, I'm not even lying, folks. I saw a documentary where a guy put I'm not even kidding. He
Mhm.
put his camper next to the river and he turned the water into electricity into his camper
Mhm.
because he had a little motor that works off of hydrogen, water.
Wow.
Hydrogen and oxygen, it's water.
There you go.
No, there he went.
There he goes,
I can go nowhere. Living off the grid means not being connected to utilities by wires,
Right.
pipes, cables. Instead, you
Mhm.
rely on your own energy sources, which can often be renewable energy,
Right.
water, like we just talked about
Yeah.
this, right? Renewable energy, water,
Mm-hmm.
sun, solar power,
Yeah.
wind. All of these things convert into different forms of energy.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest is by far is water and wind.
Yes.
If you don't believe that, just watch what a windmill does in a hurricane,
Oh, yes.
like what Amelia's living through right now,
Mm-hmm.
as well as offering independence, a connection to nature, and a sense of community. Off grid life is a way of living much more sustainable than people think. Some off gridders, now here, listen to me, folks, because there's a pro and con to this, and we're going to talk about. Some off gridders generate their own electricity, collect their own water, and grow their own food. Others live with some modern comforts, but largely are independently sustainable.
Right.
The point I'm trying to make on that last point is, while it's true that you can be completely independent, it's hard to do if you have a spouse
Mm-hmm.
or a family or more than one or two children, especially if you've already lived the modern way, because children don't understand this. Kids don't understand, why am I giving up that nice cushy bedroom I have
Right.
to live next to Winnie the Pooh in the
Exactly.
woods, and Tigger too.
Right.
My God, but this is what we're talking about, though. If and I go back and forth on that one, because, and on one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, there are certain things that I think, especially children, have a right to. They have a right to comfort. They have a right to an education. They have a right not to be yanked out of their environment.
Right. The
That's
comfort
just
zone.
that's a very good way to put it.
Mhm.
Very good way. Out of their comfort zone. Yeah. Out of their way of living.
Yes.
So, and I told you at the beginning of this that I agree with this, but that I did have some, not big issues with it, but I did have some moderate,
Mhm.
some of it was problematic. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
But what do you think about that? Now, we mentioned a bunch of stuff there, Neil.
Yeah, like you said, why get the kids used to something that they're not used to? I mean, if you're already an adult, then yeah, you should do what you want, but don't put your kids through something that
Yeah.
they shouldn't have to
Well,
be
not
put
even
through.
forget that
But
for now. But
if you're single and if you want to live off the grid, then go for it. That's what you want to do, then do it. But don't force, anybody else to live off the grid with you if they don't want to. If that's what you want to do, if you want to be out,
well, we
come
understand
back.
that, Amelia. But my point is,
Mhm.
forget about all that. We've already discussed that.
Yeah.
My point to you is, my question to you is,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on off grid living?
Well, I mean, I personally wouldn't do it, but
Well, let
other
me ask you a
people.
question.
Mhm.
That's where I want to go. That's where I want to go. Now you're along with Papa Bear. Okay, now
All right.
here's the question I have for you. You just said something important.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do it.
Right.
Here's my question. Here's the real question.
Right.
Could you do it if you had to?
Well, I'm kind of doing it now with the shower.
No, you're not. Not even close.
Not even close.
Oh, not
No,
even
not well,
close.
not even close with the water
Let me
heater
tell
not
you
working,
something,
huh?
Amelia. You ain't living off the grid until you've dropped trowel in the woods and took a shit like
Oh, right.
Smokey the Bear. Okay? Or like Wally the Weasel. Okay?
Right.
That's living off the grid.
Yeah, that's true.
You haven't lived off the grid till you squatted and pissed on the bush like your dogs do. Okay? That's not living off the. See, that's my question to you.
Mhm.
You don't want to do it, but if you had to, do you think you could do it?
Probably not.
But see, and I disagree. I think you could.
Really?
I do. I'm going to tell you why I think you could,
Mhm.
especially you and your family, because Jeff and Joseph are more survival oriented than you,
Right.
and they could easily go right into like survival mode.
Hmm.
And I believe that, and I believe they could do that in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that you would easily follow that. I think I really believe you could do it if you had to, but I also know that inside your head you're going, no fucking way. I'm staying my ass is staying in the house.
Because I like to take showers every day. That's
You like to take showers and you like the comfort and you like to sit down
yeah.
and watch the TV and you
Well,
like
not
your
necessarily.
computer and your phone. I know. Look,
Not
I'm not.
necessarily the TV because I don't have control of that. They do with the sports right now.
That's true. We should tell the world that Amelia's husband Jeff and her son Joseph have commandeered. I'm laughing.
He's trying to
They
laugh at the
commandeered the TV.
the sports.
Every time I think about them like taking over the TV, I laugh. I go, and she can't do nothing about it.
That or a cooking show. Cooking. I'm like, oh God, what are they watching
Who
now?
watches the cooking, Joseph?
Jeff.
Jeff watches the cooking shows? Really?
Hmm.
Well, tell him to write down some fucking recipes for crying out
I
loud.
know, right? Because whenever
Yeah, make some use of them cooking shows, damn it.
I used to do the cooking, of course, and then I'm the one that had to start working.
Well, yeah.
So, and then he ended up
Well,
having
you
to
had to start because your husband got hurt.
yeah, well, that's part of the reason, but I ended up having to start working, so
Yeah,
he ended up having to start cooking, and then, of course, the kids had to grow up pretty fast,
yeah,
and Joseph had to be the one started cooking, so
right.
Joseph's the one that's cooks now, so
Well, I've seen your daughter and I've seen your new son-in-law.
mhm.
They look like they could live off the grid in
They
a
kinda
heartbeat.
they kinda are because they actually live in a camper.
But there you go. Why don't you open your mouth before you, dummy?
I was
Jesus.
trying to, but you were talking. I was
When did
getting
that ever stop you?
you said never, disrespect your elders?
Oh, bitch, I'm going to smack you. Oh, God.
Anita, he's picking on me.
Oh, you're toast now. Wait till I tell Anita you called me elder. Oh, my God.
She'll probably laugh at that.
Neither she says I'm old. Oh my God.
You
So what
said
do you
never
think about
interrupt
that?
me when you're no, but
Living off the
seriously,
grid. Here's another thing. Here's another thing they say
a
about
lot of
living off
people
the grid.
do that if they're actually trying to disappear from the law too. Have we talked about that too?
People, yeah, we've talked about that last night a little bit.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people that live that way. They
Seriously though, that's the
we
truth.
had I'll tell you we had something happen here. Not
Mhm.
even kidding. Um a guy from the FBI's 10 most wanted list was in prison in Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh.
Well, wait a minute. Listen to what happened. He escaped. He got out of jail.
What?
He was on the run for 3 I'm not even kidding. Go check it out on the news.
Wow.
I'm serious. Check Yahoo or Google or any search engine. For 3 weeks, he was on the run. They finally caught him. They finally caught up with him. Guess where he was?
Oh.
Living in a bunker in the woods
What? Well,
that
oh my
he
god.
built. That he built out of tree limbs and bushes and leaves. And he built this shit.
Oh my god.
Come to find out that the guy was a survivalist.
Wow.
That he could take like nothing and make, a shelter out of it.
Mm.
I'm not even kidding.
Wow.
They showed on the news what he built,
Mm.
how he stayed in this thing. It was amazing.
Mm.
I went, holy shit! The guy should have put that much energy into like living a good life instead of like killing people.
Going to prison.
Yeah, he wouldn't have ended up in jail for crying out loud.
Wow.
But it surprised me, though. In some ways, it surprised
Mhm.
me
Right.
that the number one reason chosen for that people chose for listen to me, my teeth are hold on, folks. It- that people chose to live off the grid was to connect to nature, to become one with nature. And the second reason was to disappear. I would have thought easily, I would have thought the
Mm.
number one reason would be to disappear,
Yeah,
to
that's what I
not
would
be
have thought
found.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
because in Tennessee, pretty much like in the Smoky Mountains, you can disappear really quick over there.
You
Not
could disappear very, very fast.
yeah,
Trust me, I know. I got lost in the mountains one time. Yeah,
yeah,
boy. Please. No, I'm serious.
yeah. I mean, you can
And
get
now, and wait a minute. Thank God I was in a car at the time because at
yeah.
least I had some place to stay.
Mhm.
Because I was driving around. Don't ask me how, but I went from being like literally
Mhm.
1 minute I was in a busy city,
Yes.
and I'm not, folks, I'm not even kidding you.
Hmm.
In 3 minutes, in 3 minutes, I went from being in a busy city to being in the middle of the mountains
Yeah,
without blinking. I'm not even playing with you.
like the middle
And
of
I got
nowhere.
lost in that mountain, and I was there until the sun came up.
Oh,
And that was the only reason I was able to get out. I had to wait for the sun to come up
mhm.
to find out where the hell I was.
Yeah, you
Because
can get lost.
there wasn't a light to be found. The only light, I'm lying, the only light back there was the moonlight shining off the lake.
Hmm.
Don't ask me how I ended up in the mountains with a fucking lake.
Well,
Okay? And the city was 2 minutes away, and I had no idea where the fuck it was.
mm,
I couldn't get back there.
yeah,
If you said to me right now, get back there, I couldn't
mhm.
do it.
Yeah, you can.
I
And then
don't know where the hell I was or how I got there. Ah,
because I mean, you could get lost, and then all of a sudden you'll find this like little bitty log cabin house with this guy wearing overalls with this like brown hat and cooking
yeah,
in a still, and then he's like with his rifle, and you're like, thank goodness you had your spouse and your kids with you. Hey, we're
yeah,
lost. Can you help us turn back around? He's like, yeah, you gotta go over there yonder, and I was like, yonder, where? What are you talking about?
yeah, yonder. Now wait, here's the one I got to ask you: is it up yonder or is it down yonder?
He told
Because
me
I've
down
heard
yonder,
down yonder.
and then go left, and
Okay,
so
now here's what the because I asked somebody.
yeah.
Down yonder means it's down the street that way.
Yes.
Up yonder means turn around and go back where you came from.
Uh-huh.
That's up yonder. Up is
Yeah.
behind you, down is in front of you.
Yes.
That's how they described it to me.
And so
Now,
we had to make a Yui, like as they said,
yeah, a Yui,
Yui.
please.
And I'm like,
Telling you.
okay. So luckily nothing happened, but we got to see the log cabin and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, this man really lives off the grid.
Yeah, off the grid for sure. So let me ask you a question. Um, Take a couple of minutes and explain. What other reasons do you think a person or a family might consider or think about dropping everything behind and living off grid?
Well, if the rent or the mortgage of the house will be so high, bad influences for their children, bad influences, period, for themselves, or anyone, not to influence me to do this or that, or
Mm-hmm.
like I said before, for their children, they want to raise their children a certain way, and how well to raise their children, but their way,
Yeah,
not have any influences around them,
it's um,
you
it's
know.
a very plausible reason. Yeah.
Mhm. And
Um.
so the way they were raised, they want to make sure their children are raised a certain way. Like look at the Amish people, the way they're raising their
Well, now see, I like what you're doing tonight. See, you've been with me long enough to know where I'm going.
right.
Took you long enough, damn it, Jesus. Um, Here's the thing about that, and you mentioned something important. You
Mhm.
said families. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes, families.
Here's the thing. There are entire
Yes,
generations of families who live off grid.
absolutely.
Now, there's a place, you've all heard of it. Everybody knows it. Nobody likes to talk about it. Appalachia.
Mhm.
Okay. You all know where Appalachia is. Okay. The Appalachian Mountains cover 3 states: Tennessee, Virginia, and I believe Kentucky.
Mhm.
Okay. Somewhere. Yeah, I believe that.
Yes,
Three
Kentucky.
states.
Uh-huh.
Okay. There are entire generations of families who live in the Appalachian Mountains off
Yes.
the grid. And they have done that purposely for generations. Part of the reason there is an Appalachian Mountains is because people chose to live off grid.
Right.
Back in the early days, you mentioned one reason: run away from the law.
Yes.
Here's what people used to do in the Appalachian Mountains. Talked about it last night. Moonshine.
Yes, you did.
Make moonshine. That was against the law, by God. Okay? But guess what? When the law said, well, you can go ahead and buy alcohol now, they still made their own,
Yes, they did.
which is against the law. It's still
Yes.
against the law. And the Appalachian Mountains, they still do it today. And they will shoot you and they will kill you dead
Oh.
if you try to get near and take their moonshine still.
Mm.
I had 2 of them on my property. 2 of them. I sold one for $500 to a guy, and the other one I left it there to rot. What the hell was I going to do with it?
Right. Somebody probably
Here's the other
stole it.
thing. No, I'm serious. I lived, and you can check this out, folks. You can check it out. I lived on a mountaintop in Rockwood, Tennessee, back in the day. There were 2 houses on top of that mountain. Me and my neighbor. And my neighbor was the undertaker, the fire captain, the fire chaplain, the mayor. He was the fire inspector, the funeral director, and the undertaker. That's
Wow.
what one guy was.
The mini hats guy.
The many hats guy, yes.
Yeah.
And he was an asshole on top of it because he hated Yankee. I was a Yankee.
Mm.
He hated Yankees. And here was the worst part: I wasn't a Christian. That was really set him off. You're a
Oh,
Yankee and you're not a Christian? Oh, my God. Okay. Oh, well, look, we can't all be perfect. Sorry, dude. It's like, sorry. Anyway, I wonder what he's doing these days. I'm gonna try calling him and bust his balls. Um, but anyway, so let's kind of wrap this up and tell everybody what's going to happen tomorrow night. Tell
oh,
everybody what's going to.
absolutely. We're gonna be what happened to our TV, like our TV shows, our wholesome TV shows that we used to watch?
I don't know
What
what
happened?
happened to them.
They
Is
disappeared
that
on
a
us.
trick question?
No, that's pretty much what I want to tell people. It's like what we used to watch is no longer available. You all missed out on a lot of great TV, and we're gonna be talking about some of those shows tomorrow to bring you up
Yeah.
to date on what you guys missed, and
What
you can
happened to
still
the
watch
great
them
TV
though.
sitcoms? It's funny because the picture that I used for our advertisement, our promotion,
Hmm.
was Good Times. And
Yeah.
John Amos, we find out today John Amos passed
uh,
away in August.
Yeah, and so funny because
I'm
we
going to
watched.
find out what that's all about. Why are we finding out
Yeah,
today that he died in August? I just don't understand that.
and I watched. We watched some of them, and I said, Joseph, let's watch this episode of The Jeffersons. And I had never heard him laugh so hard. He goes, "Mom, where's this show? Where can we watch it?" I said, "It's no longer available." So we started watching old reruns of the show, and he's like,
You
"Oh
can
my,
watch them anywhere. You can watch them on
yeah."
YouTube, Tubi TV,
And
Roku, Netflix. You can watch that stuff anywhere.
and I just told him the other day, I said that these shows are no longer available like this.
Hulu.
I said,
Hulu is great for that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And I said, they don't make shows like this anymore. And he's like, I know, Mom,
You
why?
know what else is good? Peacock.
Yeah.
The Peacock channel.
And I said to myself, this would be a good show for us to do for the
Do
podcast.
you know that the number one shows are the older shows on
Yeah.
Hulu, Peacock, Roku,
Hmm.
Netflix,
Hmm.
Tubi TV, all of this stuff,
Yeah.
Pluto TV, Freevee,
Hmm.
all this stuff. The older shows
Yeah.
are the number one shows.
Yeah. You
Believe it or
love
not,
these.
I'm not even making this up.
No. And I
I'm
said,
not
people
even
can
making this
watch
up.
them again to, and I used to watch those in the Dobie Gillis show. I remember that. I used
Oh
to
my
watch
God,
the
Dobie
Donna
Gills with
Reed
Dwayne
show.
Hickman and Bob Denver.
Yeah, the Donna Reed show.
Yep.
I loved watching those shows.
Yeah, I know you love Donna Reed. I mean, how many times you told me that? 300 times. Oh, I love the
Well,
Donna Reed
that's a
show.
great show. I mean, think about it. People don't know what they were missing, and if you could still watch them again to know what really good shows, wholesome shows were
Amelia,
about.
can I tell you something?
What?
The Donna Reed show was only on the air for 2 years.
I know, right? It's sad.
For 2 years.
That's sad.
And you still remember it.
Yeah.
No, that's not sad. That's
Mhm.
saying something.
Yeah.
The fact that you still remember a show that was only on the air for 2 years
Yes.
and speak of it fondly.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, and if people, you could, like he was saying, all those shows that he mentioned where you can find them. Please go on those and just
Yeah.
look at these shows.
I had the chance to interview Bob Denver that played Gilligan.
Mhm.
I also interviewed Dawn Wells that played Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island.
Mhm.
And I asked her, I said, how do you guys explain that your show has never been off the air? How do you explain a show that was only on for, now think about something.
Yes.
Gilligan's Island was only on TV for 3 years.
Wow.
That was it. 3
It
years.
seems longer than that, though.
Don't it?
Yeah.
It was on the air for 3 years. Here's the funny part. It's never been off the air. Even when they went off the air, it's never been off the air. Why? In reruns and syndication. Why?
Because it's a popular show. People wanted to see how.
No.
No?
Got nothing to do with it.
Really?
Nope. Got nothing to do with it. I said to her, I said to Dawn Wells, explain to me, how do you guys explain the fact that you've never been off the air? She said, I asked my nephew that, who was in college. And here's what he said. There are no babes anymore on TV. I went, interesting. Dawn Wells and Tina Louise were good looking girls.
Yeah.
They were babes
Yeah.
back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So Mrs. Howell wasn't a babe.
No.
Or the skipper, he wasn't.
No.
Think about it. And actually, you know what? Son of a bitch, you're right.
Yeah.
You sure are.
Or nobody to tell you to kiss your grits.
Oh my God,
Remember
Flo
that?
from
Kiss
Alice.
my
Yeah, kiss my grits. But I had the privilege and the pleasure of interviewing John Wells and Bob Denver and the Lone Ranger, the original Lone Ranger, and Eddie Munster and Adam West and Burt Ward and oh God, all of these people I grew up watching on TV. I had the chance to talk to them, to sit down and talk to them.
Oh yeah.
And it was remarkable. Because especially Adam West, God rest his soul, because when I spoke to him, he was already 5 sheets to the wind. I think he already killed 3-4 bottles of like Jack Daniels.
Oh my
He
goodness.
was feeling pretty good. He was feeling pretty good. Well, listen, folks, on behalf of Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, I am Angelo, the Mad Dog, the Scipio. We will see you, God willing, in the Creek Don't Rise tomorrow night, as we will discuss, as Amelia said, what happened to our TV, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But until then, we have to say goodnight and goodbye, and we will see you again. God bless you, folks, and be good to each other, okay? Try to be nice. Take care. Good night.
Good night.